The former governor is due in court next month to go before a judge. The case, of course, stemming from the complaint by a former aide who says he groped her in the executive mansion.
Joining us now is another woman who's accusing Cuomo of sexual misconduct. Karen Hinton served as Cuomo's press secretary for HUD and has written a book about sexual harassment in politics. Karen, thank you so much for being with us.
Well, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Of course. So are you surprised, Karen, about Andrew Cuomo's case and the fact that it's so far risen to this level of criminality? And do you think he'll actually do jail time in the end?
Well, I think that, yes, I am surprised because I did not realize how extensive his engagement over sexual harassment has become over time. I worked for him in the 90s, from 1995 to 1999, and I definitely saw sexual discrimination, sexual harassment, but nothing like what has been described in Tish James' report, as well as the Albany County Sheriff's report. Such descriptions of what actually occurred with these 11 women, and certainly the one that is being, the charges are being brought for, is really just devastating. And it just says so much about where we are in this country around sexual harassment. It's not just the governor of New York, it's men across the country in both private and the public sectors, where a boss, a CEO, the head of an organization is sometimes finds himself being suspect of sexual harassment, and that really needs to change. This is a wake-up call for men to really start thinking about how they behave in the workplace, in the classroom, in colleges, at home, any private or public setting.
Karen, let me ask you something. What was your experience with the former governor?
Well, I've talked about this with other journalists in the past. It's basically, we had a meeting in his hotel room after a media event in Los Angeles, and he wanted me to come up to his room to talk about what we had done that day and what we would do the next day. And this was something I had done before with other people in the room or alone, and it never really dawned on me that that this intimate hug would actually take place. But when I got there and the lights were dimmed, I was sitting across from him, and as I was getting up to say goodbye, he gave me this very intimate hug, embrace, really, and I was uncomfortable, and I just was shocked. I didn't know what to do. I went back to my room. I called a girlfriend, and I just said, I don't understand what happened. I don't understand why he did this. I had never done anything to encourage that. But I couldn't speak out about it. I didn't know what to do. I mean, I was, you know, in my late 30s, and I just didn't know how to handle it. And I think most women during this time didn't. But now these 11 women have come out to talk openly about this. And the Attorney General, you know, published this detailed report about what happened. And I think that's really good for the country, so that more people will start taking this very seriously.
Yeah, seeing those strength in numbers. Interestingly, Karen, you also were a witness to Cuomo's father, the late Mario Cuomo, reprimanding his son for his behavior towards women. Do you remember when that happened and what Andrew actually said in that moment?
Well, I wasn't there. He was in college, and his father, Mario Cuomo, was Secretary of State at the time, and he told me about it later, which was very odd. I thought that he was telling me the story, and I don't know why he did, but he did. And he was with a friend outside his father's car, waiting for him to come back from an event. And the friend and he began laughing and joking about women's breasts and how big was one and how small was another. And unknowingly, his father was actually already in the car. And so Andrew Cuomo told me that his father let the window down, and he said to both of them, "Don't you ever talk like that about a woman again. Whether I hear you or not, it's unacceptable."
Wow, for him to relay that story is interesting.
Right. And, you know, this is what's so troubling about what's happened in the past few years with the former governor. I mean, he was the most powerful man in New York. And in some respects, nationally, he knew people in Washington, D.C. He knows President Biden. He knew better than to touch a female employee in the workplace. He knew that was against the sexual harassment laws that he proposed, that he advocated for, and he signed. And he knew that was inappropriate. And why he continued that behavior, not just with her, but with so many other young, mostly young women in his office. And that is entirely unbelievable because he knows better.
Well, I mean, he continues to say that that did not happen. In your opinion, is there a political future for Andrew Cuomo anywhere, or is this it?
Well, I don't think so. I mean, I think the people of New York will not put him back in office. You know, we know today that Tish James is going to run. Governor Hochul has done a fantastic job stepping in at the last minute to take over really important issues. She's been very effective. So you've got two great women running for governor. And, you know, I think that's where the attention will be. It won't be on him if he should run for any office in the future. I just don't think New York is ready for that or would want that.
Karen Hinton, thank you so much for sharing your story with us this afternoon. We certainly appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much, and I appreciate your mentioning my book. And it really looks at sexual harassment in my life from the time I was a teenager till now I'm 63. So it's kind of a memoir about myself as well as other women having that experience.
Very important.
Appreciate you sharing that story. We appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you.